Okay, so let's look at the next uh, set of questions for the Algebra 2 and trigonometry. Okay, so let's get started here. Here we have TS is the tangent to this unit circle here. Which line segment represents sine? Sine of theta. Sine of theta, here we have to realize that that represents the y value. And cosine of theta is the x value. So y value on the unit circle will be equal to right here, this line segment, which is PR. So PR will be our answer. Alright, here we have uh, secant and cotangent and all these various things. And we're ultimately looking for the quadrant where they lie. In order for us to do that, what I like to do is I like to draw a simple coordinate plane. So secant is reciprocal of cosine. The fact that secant is negative, this implies that cosine is also negative. Cosine being negative, that means we are looking at the second and third. Cotangent is negative, that means tangent is also negative, because cotangent is reciprocal of tangent. So we're looking at second and then fourth. Then our answer becomes second quadrant, right over there. Okay. Now, let us move on to the number 3. Secant is negative, and once again, secant is same as cosine, reciprocal of cosine rather. So hence we end up getting second and third quadrant to be negative. Tangent is negative, and in fact, this question is exactly the same as earlier. Second and fourth is negative, so therefore our answer should be second quadrant. Now we're going to go for number 4. Sine is negative. Sine being negative, that means we are looking at third and fourth quadrant. The tangent is positive, that means first and third quadrant. So therefore our answer must be third quadrant. Alright, let us move on to the next question. Both tangent and cosecant are negative. Once again, if I have to make a small coordinate plane here, tangent is negative, that means second and fourth quadrant. Cosecant is negative. Cosecant here means same. Cosecant is reciprocal of sine, so sine has to be negative. Then second and third and fourth. So therefore, our answer will be fourth quadrant. All right, in this case, sine is negative, negative 2/3. So sine being negative, that means we are looking at these two quadrants. Where tangent is negative, so therefore, once again, fourth quadrant. That's what we're looking for. All right, number 7. Here we have JT is 12, and then JM is equal to 6. Now, this is the 90-degree angle. And what is the value of cotangent of J? Cotangent of J is the adjacent over the opposite, which is basically the reciprocal of the tangent. Now, in fact, this is 6, this is 12, then we can call this one as x. How do you figure out the ratio? The value of x. Then we have 6 squared plus x squared is equal to 12 squared. And here we have 36 plus x squared is equal to 144. Then we realize that x squared must be equal to 108, which makes x to be equal to square root of 108. But in fact, if you have to simplify this one further, square root of 108 in fact is equal to square root of 36 times square root of 3. In other words, this is 6 square root of 3. I'm not sure if you noticed this one or not, but this is in fact 30, 60, 90 triangle. Let's try to put this one in right over here, 6 square root of 3. That means once again, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. Therefore, this one has to be adjacent over opposite, which means 6 over 6 square root of 3. Now, here we realize that 6 cancels out. Then we have radical 3 multiplied by radical 3, top and bottom. Then we get radical 3 over 3. So that becomes our answer. Choice number 1. Now number 8. Once again, here we have now we have tangent is negative. Tangent being negative, that means second and fourth. But sine has to be positive, so we are looking at first and second. Therefore, we are looking at the second quadrant. Here, tangent is negative. I'm going to use the blue. That means we are looking at second and fourth. But cosine is positive. That means first and fourth. So therefore, our answer will be third quadrant. Now, for the last one, we're going to be using the green. Sine is negative. That means we're looking at the third and fourth quadrant. But cosine times sine. Cosine times sine has to be positive. That means they have to have the same sign. Of course, it's going to be the first one and third one. Because first and third, cosine and sine will have the same signs. So therefore, our answer becomes the third one right over here, which is choice number 3. Same deal as before. Tangent is negative. That means we're looking at the second and then fourth. But cosecant, we see cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so sine has to be positive. Sine has to be positive, then we're looking at the second quadrant. Okay, let's go for the next question. I'm going to try to do this one in blue. Sine is negative. Alright, that means we're looking at the third and fourth. But cotangent is positive. That means we're looking at third or first. So therefore, our answer becomes third. Now, here, we get to realize imagine a point is a negative 4, let us say, around here, and positive 3. And I'm looking for a line segment that goes from here to here. Alright, now we're looking for what is the cosine value of the angle theta. That is the value of the angle theta. Now how do you find that? In fact, since we're looking at the cosine of the second quadrant will be negative. So we're looking at these two has to be rejected. Now, and therefore cosine of this angle is same as cosine of another angle. Let me call this one as alpha, as in the reference angle. So as you can see, cosine of theta is equal to, since it's on the negative side, second and third quadrant, therefore this value will be a negative cosine of the alpha. Now, how would you find the cosine of this triangle? Given that this is the right angle, the height would have been equal to 3, and base will be negative 4, you see? Or in fact 4 for that matter. Then what we end up getting, and then 3, 4, and then therefore hypotenuse would have been equal to 5. Or you can use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out what the value of the hypotenuse would have been. Alright, then cosine here once again becomes the adjacent over hypotenuse. So therefore it's going to be negative 4 over 5. That becomes our answer, which is choice number 4. Alright, here we have number 13. Angle is in standard position. Same way as before, negative 2, negative 3, comma 2. So let us say this point is negative 3, comma 2. Find the exact value of cosecant. You see, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine of theta. Now, how do you figure out the sine theta here? One over sine theta. So in fact, if you had to correct the dot with the origin, as you can see, one thing that which we get to realize is that we can draw a simple diagram here. Now, making a right angle, we know that this value is equal to 2 and this value is negative 3, but the hypotenuse, if I call this one as h squared will simply be equal to 2 squared plus negative 3 squared. Then you will realize that this is equal to 13, so therefore h would have been equal to square root of 13. Then sine value would have been equal to 1 over 2 over square root of 13. Now, but division by the fraction is equal to 1 times multiplication by its reciprocal, radical 3 over 2. And that became our answer. Alright. In order for you to find the exact values for each one of these angles, we have to just realize a relationship. In case of sine of 45 is simply equal to radical 2 over 2. And cosine of 30 is equal to radical 3 over 2. Now, tangent of 60 is square root of 3. Secant of 90 is reciprocal of cosine of 90. Since cosine of 90 is equal to 0, secant of 90 becomes undefined. Now, cosecant of negative 180, that is in fact reciprocal of sine of negative 180 degrees. Now, but in case of sine, that's equal to 1 over negative sine of 180. But sine of 180, you will realize the y value is equal to 0. In other words, sine of 180 is equal to 0. So therefore, this will be undefined also. Now, cotangent of 30 degrees, that's a reciprocal of tangent of 30 degrees, which gives us 1 over square root of 3 over 3, which is equal to 1 times 3 over square root of 3. But when you rationalize this one, we end up getting square root of 3. Alright, that's it. See you later. Have a nice day. Bye.